just let her do the interview.
The ability to speak to anyone across the globe just by typing it into my phone is absolutely amazing. It's one of the greatest inventions of the human race.
Yeah.
It's internet banking, searching, social media.
Mainly Twitter. I think Twitter's probably my favourite.
I use it for none of that. I use it for shopping and information gathering.
I think that it's a really good place just because you get views from all types of people from everywhere around the world.
It's a big opportunity to speak with people which they are far away.
But I use forums a lot for the LGBT community, and I think the internet's good for that because there's so many people that are unsure, and it gives them a chance to ask questions without having to be embarrassed. So I think it's good for that and for fact checking for stuff like that.
Internet is a huge, like a really beneficial tool. I think especially if you're someone who maybe doesn't come from the most privileged background.
So it can connect a lot of people and bring forward debates and forums and conversations. Absolutely, yeah.
Like, to name one, like the Just Giving pages and that kind of thing. they're so positive, like raising money for good and raising awareness. I think we have more awareness of world events now more than anything, which is a big part of what I think is a positive impact of the internet. So
I think it's designed for a whole range of people, including old folk like me. Yes.
Privacy issues.
Privacy. That's the main one, I think. Google search something and then you go on Facebook 10 minutes later and it's advertising and all these things. Like obviously it's
kind of creepy.
Yeah, it's quite intrusive, I think.
Yeah.
A private message to someone should be considered the same as a private message you say to someone in real life.
I think there's way too much abuse goes on the internet with some of the things that I see, I'll look at and then I'll look at the comments and I come off it straight away because I just think it's horrible, some of the trolling that goes on.
I'm LGBT myself, which means people, discrimination happens. But it's easier on the internet because of how anonymous it is.
And people get bullied and harassed on the internet to the extent that they take their own life. I mean, that's a tragedy that we've not really come to terms with or understood how to deal with it properly.
Please don't define yourself by the number of likes you get on social media. It doesn't mean anything.
The only other thing that really worries me about the internet is how much it's impacted reporting and news work.
One of my concerns about it is how much of the information is actually true that you're reading. I don't think you can always rely on that.
It's often a source of misinformation.
We've got to learn how to discriminate between correct information, accurate information and false information.
I was on Facebook, I stopped going on because you just drive yourself mad with this impression of these perfect lives with perfect children and perfect holidays and all this going on, and you don't measure up.
And I think everyone needs to have access to it, to have a level playing field.
A change in culture to a more like DIY and open version of the internet.
I'd like to see it be more positive and more secure.
I'd like to see it embrace GDPR, so make sure it fully gives users transparency in terms of how the data is used.
And I'd like some sort of vetting process for certain bits of information that go places.
I'd probably like to see more control from the people who own the internet sites. I'd like to see them monitor it more and remove things quicker, or maybe not even get them posted on there at all.
Within limits, more regulation and policing of just sort of actively malicious content.
And it just needs to be a safe place of discussion for everyone.
It's a balance between freedom of information, freedom of speech, and not wanting to censor that, but wanting to somehow put some safeguards and safety rails in place.
If you think about the little person, the people that make these companies who they are, instead of thinking about how much the money they can make, I think it'd be a lot better.
More secure for people who don't have a lot of support in life.
Yeah, more secure for children.
Yeah.
It needs to be everywhere. It needs to be as if they were in a playground.